Hi, everybody. Today, I want to talk to you guys about creating a simple budget. First of all, what is a budget? A budget is a tool that you use to gauge what you can allocate your monthly expenses for. So, pretty much, it shows how much money you're receiving every single week or every single month as a total, and then it shows you your expenses, where your money is going every single month, and to what categories. So, important the important principle behind a budget is it allows you to see exactly at where every cent and every dollar you earn goes to, and you're able to create accountability for that. So, pretty much, the way you want to start is listing your income, either weekly, bi weekly, or monthly. Let's say, for example, you make $1,000 a week. That's $4,000 a month, right? So that's you're positive, you're green, right? So then you can create that, you can have that in the income column. Another column you can use, let's say for example, you're doing this in Excel, it works great for this, or Google Documents, Google Spreadsheets. You can have another column that states expenses, and let's say for example, you put in all your categories, so you go from the biggest expense that most people have to go through, which is either their home, either renting or paying a mortgage. So let's say for this person who pays $1,000 a month, let's say they're renting, and let's say so they make $4,000 a month. Let's say they have to pay $1,500 in rent per month, a one-bedroom apartment here in Boston or surrounding areas. So you pay $1,500 a month in that. So that's your biggest expense. It should go first. After that, let's say transportation, you pay $300 a month for your car payment, let's say, plus about $150 in gasoline, plus another $50 in insurance, and another $50 in repairs. So what is that? That's 150 plus 300 is 450, plus another 100 is 550. So you got your 1,500 for your rent, 550 for the car. You can have categories for going out to eat or just spending money for the weekend. Let's say that's $50. And then you can have categories for reoccurring expenses like your household items that you need to replenish every time, paper towels, soap, deodorant, personal things like that. Food would be its own category. And it's important to have some flexibility here because, especially with food, and now, especially with gas prices, these items can be very volatile sometimes. So, you want to give yourself at least a $50 cushion in between extra so that you're able to account for those sudden changes that you might see in your expenses. So, let's say you have all these categories laid out. So, let's say you got your 4,000 minus, let's say, 2,500 a month in expenses, recurring expenses, right? So you do the math, that leaves you with, say, 4,000 minus 2,500. That leaves us with 1,500 a month, clean, right? Let's say after this you have a third column. The third column could be savings / investments. So in this column you say, okay, this is the amount that I want to allocate towards saving. A good proverb I've always heard is that you always want to save at least 10% of everything that you make. So for every $100 you make, you want to save $10. Save it, don't even look at it, just keep it away and forget that it even exists. But you want to create that habit. So we save those $10 for an example for every. So if you have 1,500, but you make 4,000, you should try to save 400 a month. But let's say for simplicity's sake, out of the money that you have left, you take 150, 10% of the 1,500, and you save it in a high yield savings account. A high yield savings account is typically an online savings account that doesn't have the normal expenses of a traditional bank. So that allows them to give you more value in terms of a higher interest rate on the money that you have saved with them. So that's the best way of having your money grow, you know, at least having it keep up with inflation. So let's say you have that. You keep your money saved in an account like that. That's your savings portion of your budget. Then you can have an investment portion. You can invest in all kinds of things. Index funds. These are funds where you typically have multiple companies encompassed into one single stock. So let's say the S&P 500 has 500 companies of the most popular companies into this one stock, and you can invest in it with just $1 if you use certain platforms that allow you to do that. You know, online apps on the App Store or on Google Play that allow you to invest, these smaller amounts so you can still participate. So you can have a portion for that, for your investments. You can have a portion, you can be as discreet as you want and have portions for your vacation, for a future car that you want to buy, for all kinds of things. Now, on this note, I want to make a quick reference. One of the most important things you want to do, especially since you're saving your 10% in the beginning, is you want to create an emergency fund. An emergency fund is a fund that you have that allows for 6 months of expenses to be stored there, so that in case any life event happens, you or your family will be covered by that. You'll have at least 6 months of expenses. So let's say your monthly expenses for the previous example were $2,500. A good high yield savings account will have at least about $12,000 in it to help you navigate 5 to 6 months without a job, or if you get hurt or anything happens, you'll be all set. You won't have to dip into credit cards. You won't have to get into debt for that. Also, if you do have amounts of debt, you want to try to tackle that right after your savings. So you want to save money, and at the same time, you want to be tackling your debt as effectively as you can. There are two primary ways that I've seen of tackling debt. The first one is tackling it using the snowball method. So the snowball method means attacking the smallest debt first. Let's say you have 3 cards, each one you owe $1,000, $2,000, $3,000. A lot of people find motivation in tackling that first one, 1,000, because it's a smaller chunk, it's easier to deal with. So you send that 1,000 right there, or as much as you can, you chip away at it while still making your minimum payments in the other ones to not go into foreclosure on those. You attack that one first, and then you gain momentum, you gain motivation, and you keep going down to the second one and the third one. And that's how you cascade, and you're able to tackle debt effectively. Once you create all these mechanisms and you see it all laid out, and not only having it all laid out, but actually applying this every day in your life, sticking to this budget, you're going to see that it allows you to move so far in your financial goals and what you desire for your life to become. Because you actually have trajectory in your life. You're not roaming aimlessly, but you have a foundation to start from. And this is the fundamental start to any person who wants to become financially independent. You have to have a budget. You have to start with that, because it will give you a guiding moral ground, a principle from which you can then move forward. you know. So this is one of the most foundational things you can do, one of the most important things you can do in terms of creating a better financial life for yourself. So guys, let me know what you think in the comments, and I hope to hear from you. um, Let me know how you like the style of the videos, if there are any other topics that you guys want me to elaborate upon. I'm just gonna, pretty much start this channel by going through different topics in finances and, looking from my own experience and then sharing my thoughts on that, and hopefully hearing from you guys what your experiences have been. And hopefully we can create a good community of, you know, being able to understand what all of us are going through, and I'll be able to share with you guys how to be more effective at finances. So, best of luck to you guys. Hope to hear from you soon. Take care.